Hi, Justin. I'm Stevie Wong. How you doing?
Good,
I'm
how
with
are you?
the good. Thanks. I'm with the Asian A.V Club, and we tend to do profiles. So if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of go back a little bit in this chat. I know that growing up, you were making videos with action figures and also with your friends and stuff. What was that kind of experience like for you? And like, did that kind of open up this world of creativity that was like I used to do that too with my action figures. I was just wondering, like, what was that like, kind of playing with those things and then being able to like realize like telling stories and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, I had no idea you could have a job as a director until really like at some point in college. But even then, I studied film theory, so I left college like uh, my parents were like, "What have you done? Like, you're gonna live in our house for the rest of your life." But yeah, if I look back on those early days, just I mean, I remember I just got the home video camera, and for no reason at all, it's probably the best thing I've ever made in my life, if I'm being honest. I did a mockumentary about the real the real world, but with my cats at home. I had three cats and I did floating head interviews with them. It's honestly my greatest work. I instigated fights between them and filmed them so that it'd be like, "Rah," and that yeah, it was absurd. But it was me living with my three cats, and I guess yeah, those things that you're just doing just for the sheer joy of doing them, I think are very freeing because there's no goal. It's just exist, just you're just existing. And so I'm in a way I mean I'm kind of glad I didn't know that you could be a director because that would have put pressure on me to deliver that mockumentary and those cats in a different way. Uh, so yeah, I mean, going from that, I think to really like music, like I made music with my friends. And then there was a natural progression to, oh, well, now like we're all rapping and I'm terrible. Like, what am I thinking? Naturally turned into, oh, well, what if we need a video? Then I'll try to make the video. And there was this self-taught, Final Cut Pro was out, HDVs were like coming out, and
Right.
suddenly I was doing that on my own while simultaneously um, through college abandoning. I was initially like a business economics
Yeah, I
major,
know.
absolutely
I was gonna
failing.
say your parents must have been psyched when you said, "Hey, I'm gonna do."
Like as an Asian American, let me tell you how that conversation went. Okay. It ended with me in tears, wandering campus, like, oh my God, I've offended my ancestors, I've offended the family. Because again, it was like film theory and film history and um, watching a million movies and writing essays about them. And then, but they came around. They came around eventually. Once they saw one celebrity at a short film
Nice.
festival, they were like, "He's
Yeah.
famous."
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you remember the first project where you actually put the word your name next to the word director? Like, what was that first project like? And what was that like for you to even see that kind
oh
of,
wow,
right?
yeah, that's a great question. Um, Honestly, I think it was a. Oh wow, wow, that's a deep cut
Sorry,
because I think
I was just like,
no, but now I'm remembering because it was another just I was just having fun. So I used had to babysit my two cousins often, and I was just in the house babysitting my cousins, and I was like, oh, I'm so bored. What do you do? And I was like, want to make a intro to a TV show? And I remember like, yeah, shooting of a farcical Full House intro. And they were like 5 and you know 6 or something years old, and we shot that. And I was just jokingly, I think, yeah, put like directed by
that
like
is
the whole thing.
amazing.
That might be the first thing I ever put the
That
title sequence on.
that's awesome. I need to talk about the film because obviously, like, we only have a couple more minutes left. But like,
I think we
to
need to talk about real world cats
I feel
because that's
that's
where
a
the future is.
you need to put it out there on the world. The world needs to
No, but
see
yes,
this.
this movie.
But to kind of then jump into something like this, which is, when I was watching this, it's fascinating how I don't watch sports because, but I was very fascinated with how you kind of showcase this world where people like really pushes their dreams onto this one thing that like it feels like it's like they're out for like whatever that thing is, and you really show like we see that, and then plus how they're just I don't know this whole the use of body and how that's their way out. Like all these wonderful things that you were like tapping into that I was like super fascinated with. And I was just curious, like when you're kind of putting this together, because you're covering a lot of ground, even though it's a
Yeah.
film that is like, but there's a lot of other wonderful things that you're talking about too. And if you can talk a little bit about kind of like gathering all of this stuff and then being able to then put it down into one minutia of a film, because yeah,
Right.
you're covering a lot. So I just was really psyched when you were able to do all of that.
No, I'm so happy you could see those themes and subtext and allegories at play. I guess the thing that unlocked all of those, all of the ability to take on all of those things all at once and wrap them in this him movie was when I got the material and I first pitched on it. My immediate reaction was like, yes, fundamentally, this is about the psychology of pro athletes and what are you willing to sacrifice to become the greatest of all time. That was like the explicit emotional through line. But for me, the implicit meanings and what I wanted to explore and what was the inspiration for all the horror that followed was I asked the question, what happens when the athlete becomes the commodity within an institution like that? And if your body's your only capital, then you're disposable as soon as you get injured, or you get old and age out, you're disposable. But for a lot of young athletes, the only way out of circumstances is to do this.
Right.
So you're given a very finite period of time in your life to risk a lot. And really, it's like, is it really a choice? Like, is it really a choice? Is the choice just the illusion? And so that kind of introduces hopefully dialogue and conversation starters. And if you go back and watch it, knowing that in line, like the first time he gets to the combine and he's going down the escalator, that scene, I was talking to my department heads about wanting it to feel like a piece of meat on a conveyor belt or
Right.
something being packaged on a line. And it's that hand in hand with, it's also a descent, and it's the first gate of hell, say, of this journey. So it was a combination of the sports horror and that theme underlying everything.
I have two questions, and I hope I can make it within the last couple minutes
Do
of
it.
this. But the fact is, one of them is that you put a song with Filipino lyrics in it. And I was like super psyched. Yo, like, what is that? Like, how long did it take to like get that song? And I like when I heard it, I'm like, oh, he's representing here. It was a really good moment. And so I was just wondering if you can talk a little bit about like choosing that song.
Yeah,
So,
I try to get as many Filipinos as a Filipino from the Bay. We cast Guap Dad. Pilo's also in there.
nice.
And a lot of my cousins actually sent me that Carl Angelo song as soon as it dropped. And I was like, oh my, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I know exactly where I could put this. And the translation is on theme. And it just was one of those kismet things that was like, absolutely. So yeah, always looking for an opportunity to put my people on.
It's wonderful. I was psyched when I heard it. I'm psyched that you're out there making these movies. I really want to see the real world cats. Like that's going to be a thing that really you need to develop that. Thank you so much. It's lovely chatting. I hope I get to talk to you again in the future.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Would
a
love
lot.
to.
Bye.
Thank you.